Hey everyone, I'm Charting Man Dan with the Chart Guys. I've been trading cannabis stocks for the last 13 years. We're going to check in on the sector as the most likely scenarios keep playing out. We've got equilibriums to talk about, and we're going to get some information into the end of this month with the direction that they break. Let's check it out. All right, a little venting before we get to the chart. So I would think that after being correct that people talking smack would decrease, yet over the last few days, it's peaked for the year at this point. We have people saying things like, Dan is horrible. Way better guys out there. 4 people agreeing. Honestly, you are full of it. Dan, you've been wrong about the cannabis sector since November. Charts are like horoscopes for men. You can find a pattern if you stare at anything. Schizophrenics, blah, blah, blah. Now, obviously, I don't feel bad about myself when I read those things because I know I'm doing a good job and my returns tell me I'm performing and doing exactly what my goal is in this sector. But it's extremely frustrating to have people so closed-minded and literally closing their eyes with what I'm showing in front of them for free. It makes me, honestly, if I'm being completely honest, it makes me want to stop making public content. Why am I putting out public content? I'll just talk with Chart Guys members and do my own thing. There's no point. And then, of course, the positive comments remind me, oh yeah, this is why I'm doing it. But, I don't even post my content on Reddit anymore. I haven't for years because of how vile that place is. But when someone posts my stuff and it's only negative stuff responding to it, it definitely makes me figure, why am I even doing this? Anyways, let's talk about most likely scenarios and equilibriums. So we got the last video. So again, let's just do a little recap. Bulls looking to sell, second chance opportunities. I took that opportunity to sell some around 990. Pull back here. We hold the low of that reaction day multiple times. Went long again on the 945 break. The video from last weekend said we're a range between 876 and 945. We're waiting for one of those levels to break. We break 945. We know the most likely scenario is we're heading back up to test the $10 resistance zone. The news headline drops. We spike through $10, sell up at 1030, and then look for the daily higher low to reload. I added back 50% of what I sold at 1030 at 958 on Friday afternoon. That's a 7% decrease in the cost basis. I will add back the other half of that position when I have confidence that the daily higher low is forming, knowing that that has space. It can be anything above 876. Maybe we drop down to 920 over next week. I have no idea. I know a daily higher low is most likely, and I know the next piece of information that I am going to get is when we break this range, what direction does that range break? If it breaks bear, we look to 832. If it breaks bull, we look to 1137. I don't know the direction we're going to break. I'll give it a 50-50. Every single day from here, I'm going to get new information that will shift the probabilities of which is most likely to break. So I will have a core position. I'll size down if we break bear. I still have some adding back to do, but that is the clear approach of where we stand for the rest of the month in May here in this sector. We know there's not a ton of headlines, at least anticipated headlines in the short term to come, which means the broader market is going to have significant impact, but one day at a time. From the video Thursday, we knew to be looking for an hourly lower high. Can the bears confirm an hourly downtrend? The hourly lower high happened in pre-market. The bears controlled right into the open, and as soon as you break 973, yes, hourly downtrend confirmed. Daily consolidation underway, and now the hourly downtrend is our guide. We have a new short-term resistance at 971. Support is 942, and we're watching the hourly downtrend, knowing the bulls need to regain an hourly uptrend if a daily higher low is going to be shaping up. I need a level where I can say that's either the daily higher low or I'm wrong. I add back my next half of my position, and I use that level as a stop with some wiggle room. True leave. Daily inside bar. So we have not officially set the daily lower high yet. Again, we have a huge range in a headline candle, higher low, probably a lower high, then we scout a higher low, anything above 1042. I will be looking to potentially add back some true leave on a pullback. Ideally, mid $11 range, but again, one day at a time, we'll see how it shapes up. TCNNF divided by MSOS is showing us there's still relative strength. We just tested the strongest it's been on this move, but still fairly range bound and sideways. Quick rundown, GTBIF divided by MSOS, still weakening as we've been talking about the last few weeks. Curaleaf, again, not significantly, just, minute little differences. But we want to know who's strengthening, who's weakening. Curaleaf, not doing a whole lot recently. So Trueleaf still on the stronger end. Green Thumb still on the weaker end. Nothing massive, but worth paying attention to. If that were shifting, instead of focusing on Trueleaf, I'd be focusing on Green Thumb, but that's not the case. And again, I believe that the Florida dangling carrot into November is going to keep Trueleaf relatively stronger. So GTBIF tightening range, no lower high officially set yet. If we break 260, nope, wrong name. GTBIF, the lower high is set. So I was going to say, Green Thumb is not 260. All right. Boom, boom, boom. Scout the higher low. Anything above $12 can easily tighten up through next week into the following week. Waiting to see how we break. There's also a holiday mixed in there. What, next Monday? Not this Monday, but 27th, I believe there's no trading. AYRWF, weekly time frame. Just tightening up. Equilibrium. Zoom in to get some more details. New base of support. 228 is the most important support for me in the short term. Anything under 346 is a lower high. Daily inside bar. Do we break the low of Friday on Monday to keep tightening up? MSOS already confirmed its daily lower high. A lot of names in the sector have not done so yet. So the bears still have a little bit of proving to do in the short term this coming Monday. And even on the Canadian side as well, you see CGC, daily inside bar. It doesn't look too weak, but we did close fairly weak near the low of the day. So if 1066 breaks on Monday, our lower high is set. Boom, boom, boom. Scout the higher low compared to 876 and look for it to tighten up for the next few days. If we form a quick higher low and break higher, that's a good sign for the bulls. We know that 1492 is still the key level, and it's possible that a tightening daily range breaks bull, and then that changes into a tightening longer term range, perhaps on the weekly time frame, but again, just one time frame at a time. First question I have into Monday, does the low of Friday break to officially set the daily lower high on the names that have not done so yet? And for CGC, short-term resistance, anything under 1165 will be an hourly lower high. Next bounce. TLRY, dilution. All of these names in this sector have to be aware of dilution, especially if you're investing. You want to be reading the balance sheets, aware of convertible debt, aware of cash flow. Are these companies going to need to raise? Because if they do, the price will drop. That's what GME and AMC just did leading into their big boom this past week. They all diluted and raised capital into the inflated share price. So TLRY is all about 191. We did break a short-term support, the low of Thursday, but if 191 holds, we'll keep tightening up. So it's all about 191. Still relative weakness. Again, just do the same thing. TLRY divided by CGC is showing us that we've been weaker, drastically weaker for 2 months, and we're heading back down towards the weakest it's been in years. Cron, different. It looks different, but big weekday on Friday. After failing resistance, clearly there's a lot of resistance, 310 to 314, failing 3 out of the last 4 days, but there's also support at 288. So it's, again, you just find those two trenches, which is how we started MSOS. Trench at 945 to start the week, 876. One is going to break. Resistance breaks, look to the next one. All right, same thing here. We've got our support trench, our resistance trench. We zoom in and see, yeah, it's hit a bunch of times. Reject, 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 reject. Hold, hold. But we're knocking on the door of support breaking. If we break that support, we're then looking down towards the next base of support around 260s. And then weekly consolidation will likely be underway if that daily support level breaks. SNDL. Looking down at support of 215. Again, it looks a little bit different than these other tightening names, but weekly consolidation potentially shaping up. Big upper wick on that candle. And so, bears back in short-term control. We'll see how long that remains the case. Hourly trends are our guides. SNDL, bell can ring Monday. We can bounce 5%. and still form an hourly lower high, which again is what happened Friday for CGC. Bell rang, bulls showed up. We saw a 9% move almost from the low of the day to the high of the day, but it was just an hourly lower high compared to 1195, and then we confirmed the hourly downtrend. So again, the video from Thursday, bears look for a bounce as a second opportunity to short, bulls look for that bounce as a second opportunity to take some profit, seeing the way that the sector has been responding to the headline. Psychedelic sector is weak. MNMD down near its low. I'm going to be keeping an eye out to see if this ends up being a falling wedge, but I will be a lot less interested in the psychedelic sector. This is a pattern I'm definitely going to be keeping an eye on here, but I am less interested in the psychedelic sector if MNMD loses weekly EMA 12, which has been holding for many months. And the other peers are clearly weaker. ATAI already flushed down, hit the lowest level in a couple of months. CMPS is testing its recent lows. So nothing in the psychedelic sector has me interested in the moment. I have no interest into weakness. I have interest into strength. When bulls prove to me things are shifting and there's a reason to be looking long, but we don't have that right now. So again, I'm watching MNMD, and what I would need to see for me to get interested, hold this downtrending support, bounce, and then something like that. All right, now I'm interested because I know a break is imminent at that point in time. But it's the kind of thing that I check in on every day, every other day, but not interested looking long in the moment, waiting for a setup to come to me that I feel has good risk-reward scenario. So fairly quick analysis, because again, once you have Big Daddy MSOS analysis down, you apply it to all the other individual names. You see how are they the same, how are they different. Many of the tier 1 names are the same with the tightening ranges, aside from not officially setting the daily lower highs yet. A lot of the tier 2 names are the same on their tightening weekly ranges. AYRWF, VRNOF, TSNDF to a certain degree. Higher listed names, Cron, SNDL, they look, we have 3 categories. Well, 3 categories. Tightening daily ranges, CGC, MSOS, ACB, they're all in there. Tier 2, tightening weekly ranges. Higher listed names that had bull breaks, SNDL, Cron, maybe GRWG, I don't think as much. Nah, tightening weekly range on GRWG. But anyways, those are the 3 ways that the sector is currently shaping up on the charts, and we can just compartmentalize who fits where within those. There's one more thing I wanted to look at here. What was it? GRWG, pause, IIPR. Correlating to the broader market, up at the highs. Nobody talks about this name in the sector. I don't get it, but it's an uptrend. It's just a long-term uptrend over the last bunch of months. And we are approaching, if we get over 125.38, we will be at almost 2-year highs at that point. And some good traders that I know are starting to focus on REITs again. And of course, IIPR is an REIT. It's performing a bit better than most as far as the last 6 months are concerned. All right. Hope you have a great weekend. Don't be a jerk. Do good things.